SEABA Championships just last year. They lost to Malaysia by 29 points. At that time, they didn't shoot well at all. Well, here we are, the traditional powerhouses. Malaysia basketball, women's basketball was first introduced in Malaysia in 1977 at the SEA Games, and since then, this the 20th edition. The past 19, Malaysia have won 15 of 19 editions, including the first 7. And this team is filled with 4 players who played at the last SEA Games, and most of the squad who featured at the SEABA Championships when they beat Singapore. Chong gets a start as well. Eugene Ting will dominate the boards, as we think that she would, because her big figure would be so hard to stop for Singapore. The moments they heave those balls up, the Malaysians, they'll be happy to take those threes from the outside, because it usually would end up with her grabbing those rebounds. The Malaysian coach is SHUWEN. She's been in charge for this team for the last 3 years already, and she's got her charges all pumped up and ready to go for these SEA Games, having lost to the Philippines in the SEABA Championships just last year. While the Singapore coach is Kirk Murad, the American, who was appointed from June last year, former coach of the women's team in the USA, Winsome Tech. There he is, Kirk Murad. Well, at SEABA Championships, they did start with 2 very difficult matches, and they went on to clinch the bronze with victory, encouraging once against Indonesia and Thailand. And that bronze medal very much was a nod of approval from the Singapore Olympic Committee to actually send this team to hopefully win their first medal in basketball since 2003, when they finished second in Hanoi, just behind, of course, to their opponents today, Malaysia. Pang Hui Pin, the number 3 there, she's a real hot shot and a real hot scorer. She top scored against Singapore at the SEABA Championships, 15 points, and she was one of 4 players in double digits against Singapore in that game, where they shot 46% from the field. Yoshida and gang have to be a little more careful when it comes to protecting the ball, because there was 28 turnovers against the Malaysians at the SEABA Championships, and they only shot 26% from the field. Lady Jacqueline Chu, when she gets a hot hand, it will be tough to stop. But despite scoring 13 points and being the only Singapore player in double digits against the Malaysians at the SEABA Championships, she did not shoot pretty well on that match itself. They got off to a hot start against the Philippines yesterday, led the Filipinas by 4 points before their heads dropped. Well, it'll be Malaysia with the ball, and the early exchanges of their second match against Singapore, as always, living and breathing by the threes, and it's a first knockdown straight away, nothing but net. What a beautiful looping shot that one was as well by YUKIE. First points of the game, as Singapore tried to respond with a one from downtown of their own. Back at ya! Yoshida, the top assister against Malaysia the last time they met, and what an electrifying start this is between Singapore and Malaysia. 2 3-pointers, both knocked down already. Mid-range jumper doesn't go this time. Yoshida with a rebound for Singapore, who look to try to take the lead and this time build on it instead of just giving things away too easily. Yoshida controlling, trying to make use of the paint, using the board. Well, she thought it was in, she looked away from it, but instead it was in and out. So they hit 1 3-pointer, and then a layup miss from Singapore. Mid-range jumper miss by Malaysia. This time doesn't get that to fall. Good little muscle and the bustle and the hustle there from the Malaysians in order to get the ball back straight away after missing that shot, and they get the foul out of it. Well, box them out, that's what Murad's telling the girls, and that's also that signal there from ALANNA to say we need to box them out. 2 behind the boards, 2 underneath the boards, and it was the Malaysian who actually got to it first. The figure of YUKIE, who's got their only point so far, but misses the first of 2 free throws. Misses them both. Singapore escape with it. Jacqueline Chu, some ball handles and ball skills, looking for any sort of slashes inside the lane and the paint. Take advantage of them. Well, there's no one there. Trying to move out of the way for Yoshida to try to attack the rim. And live and breathe by the 3-ball yet again. This time though, rims out, rebound Malaysia. And trying to take full advantage of the height of Eugene. That's that lob pass, just wasn't accurate enough for Eugene Ting. Try to do anything with it. It's a deep, deep pass as well. And the Malaysian coach would have seen the match against the Philippines and know that the full court press is not something that Singapore are very comfortable dealing with. They do have a lot of mobility running outside, but a lot of it is done on the periphery of things and down the perimeter. 8 to shoot, layup is good. Wonderful attack to the rim by Jacqueline Chu, and she gets it underway, which is all important just to get the hot hand going. Malaysia trail by 2 and trying to look for the open player. Eugene takes the center out and then bullies her with that little layup herself, and once again the rebound goes to Malaysia. Way too easy from underneath the rim at the moment for the Malaysians. Crossover move looking for a wonderful no-look pass. It wasn't finished off, and these easy layups might come back to hurt the Malaysians. At that time the guilty party was Pang Hui Pin, but the no-look pass was absolutely delicious by Saw Wei Yin. Singapore with a chance to extend this lead from 3. Doesn't go. Kiss the front of the rim. Back come the Malaysians. This time trying to go coast to coast. Backed off the three-pointer. Looking for the mid-range jumper and maybe looking to bring the ball inside to Eugene. Was that a double dribble? Well, the Singapore coach called for it, but the referee ignores the calls and the ball goes out once again after another turnover by Malaysia. It's 3 turnovers already by the Malaysians, and they will call for a timeout after a very fast and furious start by Singapore.
Okay, let's not roll yet. We can roll later. The double, I think when you run double, come up a little higher and then go back there. You kind of go in here and there. It's too flat. Come all the way up if you can. Okay, if they don't, then go get it. You got the hand up. If they're overplaying everything, maybe the next time down, let's run 4. Set a screen for Yukie. Make sure you find Yukie's man. And then on the reversal, if you got the 4-man on you, ALANNA sets the screen and the reversal.
Well, that's what they were doing pretty decently at the SEABA Championships, setting screens up for their shooters from the outside. And since Yukie's already got 1 out of 1, there she is, Yukie Yoshida has already got 1 out of 1 from 3-point range. They might be looking at setting the screen up. CHERYL POON hasn't got going yet in this ball game, but Singapore certainly have a 2-point lead against Malaysia, who called for a very early timeout just to get the intensity right, and Rajendran has checked into the ball game for them. She too a real beast on the boards. CHERYL POON looking for the angle for the shot, looking for the screen to come, which was not forthcoming, so she had to go do it all by herself. Was very happy to take the contact from Chong Yin Yin, and she'll go to the line for 2. Singapore's top scorer at the FIBA Asian Championships, 15.2 points per game, CHERYL POON, and she usually is unnervingly accurate from the charity stripe. Makes them both cleanly as well. Rajendran trying to back it up, and it's not going at the moment for the Malaysians, those easy layups. As I said earlier on, it might come back to haunt them. Well, there was almost a double dribble then, and traveling called on Jacqueline Chu, so she decided to hand off the ball early enough to CHERYL POON. She had intentions of just going in all by herself and attacking the rim, then saw the channels and the angles close down very quickly. So that handoff, which didn't work, long 3, doesn't fall. Singapore will keep possession of the ball, and Malaysia are ice cold at the moment with their outside shooting, which is helping Singapore in the early stages. As I said, halfway through the first quarter against the Filipinas, it looked pretty good for Singapore. And then it all fell apart. Yoshida Lob pass, another turnover for them. That's 2 in a row now after starting the first 7 minutes of this game without one. Looked for the run of CHERYL POON, who tried to use that run to distract the Malaysian team members in order to get the open shot for Yoshida, which was the plan of Coach Murad. Finally, the banker of the board goes for Malaysia. Rajendran gets them right back into it and back to a 2-point ball game. CHERYL POON doing that little bunny hop, trying to look for the angle once again to attack the rim. Oh, it's almost there. That layup was very difficult because she had hands in her face all the way through. And talking about coast to coast, going right through is Chong Yin Yin. The layup and the foul. Always looking for the handoff, and then decided I'll do it all by myself because I can. Completes the 3-point play, and Malaysia take the lead for the first time since the first basket of the game. Yoshida looking for a bit more mobility, especially from under the rim. In the paint, Yoshida once again. Malaysia protecting that paint pretty well. Not in KL. Get out of here. Totally rejected with that layup. Jacqueline Chu finding no way around with that little hook. And checking into the ball game for Singapore is Koh Wei Bin. Wei Bin once again looking for any sort of runners, finds CHERYL, heaves it up straight away. The prayer is not answered though. 5 minutes remaining of this first quarter. Malaysia trying to extend on the lead and hopefully get their tails up as quickly as possible. Rajendran's already got her 2 points of the game. Looking for the mid-range jumper, looking to work inside, and does her trick yet again. Way too easy. ALANNA Lim just allowed her to just slide and slip right through. Another easy layup, and the Malaysians will look to get as plenty of it as possible. Offensive foul by Singapore, and it's all going south at the moment, just like it did against the Philippines round about this stage yesterday. And because of that, Murad will call for a timeout. Singapore's first, having endured a torrid time since the last timeout 3.5 minutes ago.
Turnover. Forced layup in traffic. 3-point shot attempt with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Turnover. Those are our last 5 possessions. 3 turnovers. Stop sending screens with your butt to them. They're going to call that a foul. We need a great shot next time down the court. We need not a good shot. We need a layup or a wide open 3.
那球带踏出来这一边，明白吗 ？OK, girls。他用半字就是这样的换换。对，他们这样没有他们有换，你们有换，但是你们换到哦，给他很容易哦，他就又再去踏前一步去，很顺，明白吗？你踏出去哦，就凶一点，就去先去爬的要去的位置。
Well, the Malaysian coach really working on the transition plays for the Malaysians, especially up on the offensive front. Where in the opening exchanges there wasn't enough movement, a lot of balls played inside to their centers. Eugene couldn't do her job, so Rajendran comes in and gets her 4 points in the game already. All with easy layups, easy turnarounds on ALANNA. It's just allowed her to escape. Instead of protecting the rim and the paint, it's all collapsed in front of her. And jumper once again. A rebound picked up by the Malaysians, but Singapore get the second rebound and throw it away. Lovely handoff and an easy 2 for YUKIE, her 5th point of the game. Another turnover by Singapore. The fast break is on FOOK. Well, she was waiting for any sort of contact by Jacqueline Chu before dispensing with another 2. Contact was not forthcoming. She's happy to take the points anyway. It's a 7 points ball game, the biggest lead of the ball game so far. Yoshida, Jacqueline Chu It's a little too physical on her that time by Mei Chin.
Triple substitution for Singapore.
Fast break, and you could see she was waiting for that contact, looking at where, well, not Jacqueline, but Amanda Lim was going. And Malaysia will introduce the very popular Izzati Yaakob, one of the more stylish players at these SEA Games. Look for her ball distribution. She's absolutely superb. Great vision on court as well. Rajendran, is that a foul? Is that a reach-in foul? Might be called on Rajendran, which will be her first. Totally dominated the boards against Vietnam. Surprised that she wasn't included in the starting five. This time it is Singapore looking to work in the paint. Sarah Jane Tan couldn't find it, blocked off. Back comes the fast break. Easy two once again. K. Rajendran. 6 points now in the game for the Malaysian centre. She's vacated a position. Singapore can't take advantage of it though, because the Malaysians just remained so compact and protected their paint with all the jealousy in the world. Singapore need to find a basket here. Just 2 points in the paint, but we expected that with the Malaysians being the bigger of the two teams. Lovely pass inside, and this should be Singapore's first points in 4 minutes. And it's converted by Amanda Lim. Wonderful handoff by Koh Wei Bin. Spotted the run from a mile away and took full advantage of it. Jalindran almost losing the ball. Yet again, a lob pass inside was played to real precision. Izzati gets her first point of the game. It's going to be jump ball. It's after some mishandling on the part of Charmaine C. Eugene Ting returns to the ball game. So to Wong Mei Chin. And work's already been done by Yap Fook Yi. 12 points she scored against Singapore at SEA Championships. She's already got 6 in this ball game. And Charmaine will take a break now. Sarah Jane, Jacqueline Chu, nice little crossover move, throws it back, looks for the three, pump fake first time, downtown, knocks it down. Jacqueline Chu with Singapore's first three-pointer since the opening basket of the game, trimming it down to a 7-point lead. Malaysia trying to respond with a three-pointer of their own. Quick pass inside, yet again, Rajendran. Anywhere would do, just throwing it up, looking for a foul. Referee points the other way though, it's going to be Singapore ball. As always, they're looking to lob it inside as soon as possible for their bigs to take full advantage of it. Another turnover by Singapore. They started the game in the first 4 minutes without a turnover, and they've been racking it up since then. As this time for Rajendran, trying to get their players as much rest as possible in what is a grueling tournament. Remember, it's round robin for the gold medal in women's basketball. Last time out, Malaysia actually did lose a match in Singapore and won the gold medal only by points difference. Looking for the angle just to attack the rim once again. Was that going to be a foul? Sarah Jane applauded by the coach for keeping pace and preventing an easy basket and an easy layup for the Malaysians, and getting a hand in the way as well. It's almost a blocked shot then. Well, they've allowed the escape route for Eugene. And once again, the moment they box things off and their bigs get away with it, they're going to punish you. 9-point lead. The biggest of the ball game. Two Singaporeans getting into each other's way. Jacqueline Chu trying to just heave it up before the buzzer sounds, and Malaysia have an opportunity with a 4-on-3 break now. Magdalene from outside nails it. 3 easy points, no pressure at all, and the lead is in double digits. Wonderful movement by Singapore, that time by Jacqueline Chu, well found as well. Wei Bin has certainly got her passing game going. Need to keep it respectable though, and give themselves an opportunity for the next 3 quarters. Open jumper, Eugene misses it. Well boxed out by Singapore to get that easy rebound. Will be the last possession of the game. Surely they'll switch off the shot clock now. Jacqueline Chu, spin move was absolutely superb. Try to get a little lucky from the banker. Off the board, couldn't. Can the Malaysians heave it off just in time? A second remaining. Hazati wasn't warned by it, and the Malaysians, though, after a very poor and pedestrian start against the Singapore side, actually managed to take the lead now by 10 points in the first quarter. Once again, Singapore started off well, actually took the lead in the game, but then fell to some silly turnovers in the middle of the quarter, and they're facing a 10-point gap going into the second.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just been informed by the commissioner's table for the fans that are using a horn. Please do not do so. No offense. We want you to cheer, we want you to scream, and the horn is very confusing because the players listen for a horn for the referee's calls. So for those fans who are using a horn, kindly put it away for all games. We're not trying to discourage you from cheering, but we do not want to confuse the players. So from now on, ladies and gentlemen, please put the horn away if you have one. Thank you for being such a fantastic group.
Welcome back to the Maba Hall for the second quarter of Singapore's second match of these Women's Basketball Championships at the 29th Southeast Asian Games. Malaysia leading 23-13 after the first quarter and looking very good. After missing 4 shots in a row, they've made 6 of their last 7. Most of them have been very easy layups as well, taking full advantage of their bigs, especially Rajendran. She has been just backing into the Singapore centers and bullying them out of position, using the muscle and the hustle. Yoshida got the first point of the game for Singapore. Turns it over. Looking for the open 3. Magdalene declines to take that one. Easy little spin move inside by Eugene. She knew it was always going to be open. Another 2 points for her after missing her first 2. Wei Bin. Alanna. Lots required of Alanna in this role. And just to set screens and block off any sort of charging runs from the center, to run outside and hope that she gets any sort of perimeter shooters to kick the ball out. Oh, that's a real mismatch, isn't it? CHERYL POON on Eugene. Another missed shot by Singapore. And Malaysia worked so hard on their transition game after the first timeout. Looking very fluid now. Magdalene, was that going to be a foul called? I think it was traveling on the part of the Malaysian number 11. Well, the Singapore girls need to get some wheels in their heels, because the Malaysians are skating away with it for the moment. Yoshida still looking for the open shots. Magdalene's right in her face, but she still stuffs it. And just like it was at the start of the game, she gets the opening points in the second quarter. Back to a 10-point lead. Malaysia. Wonderful arc on that shot from Eugene, showing she's got a soft touch outside too. Crossover move by CHERYL, open for the three. Yoshida couldn't get it to fall. Rebound Singapore, keeps it alive. ALANNA, Yoshida, CHERYL from outside, once again rims out. And charging foul by Wei Bin. A little too strong that time on Chia Qian. YUKIE returns to the ball game in place of Madeline Lowe, who's already contributed with a 3-ball. Fogi open for the 3, declines the invitation to take the shot, goes for the J. Jacqueline Chu, once again, that channel blocked off so very quickly. And Malaysia hungry, absolutely hungry to get the ball back as soon as possible. Eugene wide open for the 3. Totally wide as well. She can laugh about it. So Wei In, usually a lot more accurate, and the coach says, let's sit down and reflect on that shot now, as Chong Yin Yin returns to the ball game. It's a facepalm moment of an embarrassment for her. Go Wei Bin, out to CHERYL. Yoshida once again providing the movement. ALANNA's got to come real outside just to make sure that the paint is unprotected. She does well enough to go attack it. But now she's got to convert those 2 free throws. First look at aerial loiter in this game. And Amanda Lim returns in place of Ko Wei Bin, who's had an excellent outing. ALANNA misses the first of 2 free throws. Rajendran's back in the game for Malaysia. One out of 2. 27-16. Look at the bench points from Malaysia. 11-2. That's been a huge difference. The depth of their squad, the ability to use almost every member of the roster. That's a reverse layup, trying for the very best. Knocked away. It's going to be Singapore ball. Fook was off balance. Wanted then anything shot. Jacqueline Chu, brave enough. So too was Yoshida for the rebound. Reverse layup doesn't go. Back come the Malaysians. Hand and face. Still took the shot on. And grabs her own rebound as well. Fook. Rajendran. 5 to shoot for Malaysia. And they worked it out still, as if there was time forever on the clock, and time stood still for the Malaysians then. All the calmness in the world to still work out and find the runner away. And shot doesn't go for Ariel, her first attempt, and it falls short. Hui Pin for 3, way off yet again. They haven't really been nailing those 3-pointers. It's mid-range J, which goes for Rajendran. Yoshida is clamped down straight away. Long rebound easily picked up by the Malaysians. Yin Yin. It's actually Hui Pin with the rebound. Yin Yin comes away with the ball. Much better in terms of the rebounding than from Singapore. Sarah Jane Tan making sure that no one's going to get in her way of grabbing that ball from the air. And the loiter. Waiting for any sort of movement. But this was great movement, wasn't it? Just needed a stem then, and that was Pang Hui Pin, who just stood still. And the moment the ball was thrown out to Chong Yin Yin, she knew that her marker was going to attack her. The crowd might be shouting and counting down from 5. Malaysians know that there still is a lot of time. Wei Bin. Shot clocks run out. 15-point ball game. And that has been a sorry state for Singapore at the moment. They just can't get those open looks. Almost every shot of theirs has been under pressure. It's been a palm in their face all the time. Chia Tien, Rinthran. Good enough defense from Singapore to make sure that the transition from Malaysia doesn't work so easily. Yoshida comes away with the ball, but it's a 3-on-1 against her. Loiter back to Yoshida. Sarah Jane, loiter. Good little step inside. Lovely move by Amanda Lim.
The score, 2 points.
Always going to be a foul all day long, that one. As Izati tried to attack the basket. Much better play. You get the opportunities. You know that the Malaysians are always looking to try to steal the ball away from any sort of a kickback or throwback into one of your outside shooters. So that channel open, you got to take full advantage of it, which Amanda did. Izati 1 of 2 from the line. It's Go Poyet who's been called for a foul. And Eugene Ting returned to the ball game in place of Hui Bin. Are they working with 2 bigs here, the Malaysians? It's really hurt the Singaporeans then, who just can't deal with any sort of height advantage that Rajendran and Eugene have been racking up at the moment in their paint. Yes, they are going to be working with those twin towers. Turnaround jumper, and it's a good one. Sarah Jane Tan has got a stroke going. It's a worry for Singapore here, whether it was a step on her ankle or did she land awkwardly. Let's have a look at it again. It was very brave of her. Step back to find that open jumper. Oof. It was Rajendran. Just landed on her ankle accidentally. It's a worrying moment for Singapore. Scored 2 of their last 2 attempts. Hopefully thawing themselves out of the freezer and getting the hot streak going on here. Underhand layup from Izati doesn't go, but yet again the Malaysians so good with their ball movement and finding any sort of a slasher going through the Singapore paint. Izati, 50% from the free throw line. Well, increases that percentage momentarily. Weibin once again looking for any sort of movement up front, looking for the lanes to depart and make sure that she's got that easy run into the channel. Can't find it. Weibin might have to do it all by herself. Shot clock's down to 5 seconds. The shot has to be heaved. A prayer, and it's just off. Total air ball. Malaysia come back. Almost a 2-on-1 break. Singapore though, transition quick enough to get back to defense. Eugene. Shot from way outside. That was from a different postal code 3. Malaysia knock it down yet again. And it's a 16-point lead. And Singapore not helping matters with another turnover. Look how far that one was taken. And it found nothing but net. Rajendran had that knocked out of her. Just 1 out of 8 from 3-point range from Singapore, and that was the first attempt from Yukie Yoshida. Izanti. It's it. Almost reach and foul. He wanted it, but the referee's not going to call for it. Weibin. Some good ball handling from her. She is free on the outside, but wasn't found that time by Charmaine C, who decided to go all by herself and draws the foul from Izati. She'll go to the line to shoot 2. Well, when they look at the roster, Singapore, they will know that it's such a tough start against the Philippines and against the Malaysians. But they take their confidence from their work at the SEAWA Championships, which they produced against Thailand and Indonesia, beat those two, beat Vietnam as well, and the bronze medal is still there. So it's not over yet, even though if they lose this game. Well, Weibin, ball handled like a hot potato then. Weibin's just got to heave it up, hope for the very best, and hope for a rebound from a teammate, which should have been an easy one, but it's taken away, and Malaysia come away with Solway in. It's it. Jintran way in open. Couldn't get the banker to go. That banker does go for Singapore. Jacqueline Chu right back in it. Izati. Way in. Its last three-point attempt. Couldn't even find the rim. Madeline found the rim, but couldn't get the roll. Jacqueline Chu trying to look for the open runner in the lane. Oh, there was Weibin on the outside waiting for any sort of a kick out because she was open for the 3. It didn't come. Izati takes the contact and gets the basket. Right through at the heart of the Singapore defense. Invited for dinner and has asked for a +1. And they say yes to it. Amanda Lim returns for Charmaine C for the final minutes of this first half, where Singapore once again started brightly, but have failed to keep up against a Malaysian side who just went through the gears. Loiter. Jacqueline Chu almost open for the 3. She is open for the 3 momentarily. They don't find her. They get the rebound, but they don't get it to go. They still have the ball though. Everyone's on the outside. No one moving near her. Yoshida finally throws up a 3 from way outside, almost in and out. That would have been something else. Madeline Lowe trying to just hold things up a little bit now. Izati looking for the lob pass inside because SHUWEN had showed her the way. Finally, a three-point shot heaved up. Easy rebound for Singapore. Jacqueline Chu tried the easy J, but straight away 2 hands were in her face. And no easy baskets against the Malaysians. Yoshida, though, picks up her own long rebound. Still doesn't get it to go. 9 seconds remaining. The crowd counted down. Can the Malaysians now spring up with the final basket of this first half? They almost did. Comes off the rim, but it's been a fantastic half for the Malaysians, keeping Singapore scoreless for minutes throughout that first half. They started strongly, but still couldn't build on it, just like it was against the Philippines. They scored 22 points in that first half. They're down by 17 against a rampant Malaysian team.
On the 25th of August. Please don't go away, everyone. We have a lucky draw coming up very, very shortly. Enjoy that and tell all the friends about it. Wow. Well, you want to give me some, you want to give me a check. It looks like a checkbook over there. Okay? Go. Okay, Mr. Go. There you go. Enjoy that ticket. Thank you very much. Alright, there you go. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day. Big round of applause for our winners, everybody. And don't forget, we'll be having lucky draws all week long, so make sure you keep coming back to Mama. Make some noise! Make some noise! Alright, thank you very much. We'll see you after the halftime break.
Welcome back to the Maba Stadium and the women's basketball game between Singapore and Malaysia, who have been dominant, not just in terms of the points on the board, but also in the paint and under the rim. They have been bosses of the boards, and Singapore just can't deal with the bigs after taking a very early lead in that first half. Second tournament in a row for Singapore. It's the first time since 2007, of course. The last SEA Games they finished 5th. It was the first time in 8 years they sent a women's team to the basketball competition. A couple of bronze medals and a silver medal. That's all they've been taking so far in women's basketball at the SEA Games. And look for an inside pass, which is not a bad one, but it wasn't finished off by Amanda Lim. Yet again, the Malaysians just collapsed on her and gave her no breathing room at all for that easy shot. Rajendran looking for that early three to start the half. Couldn't get it though. Chong Yin Yin. It's almost pilfered right in the middle of the court then by Bunyit. Jacqueline Chu looking for the open jumper. Nothing is open at the moment, but she goes for the hook herself and gets the roll. Tenacious work by Jacqueline Chu, and gets a reward for it. Saw Wei Yin outside to Hui Bin. Still Hui Bin. 6 to shoot on the clock. Rajendran taking her time before that little jumper, and then somehow manages to tip the ball away and keep it alive. Lovely runner once again found, but she got her move on ahead of Amanda. And Yap Fook Yi, just like she did in the first half, gets Malaysia's first points of the second. Jacqueline Chu, all heart from Jacqueline. That's what you expect from her. The way she attacks the rim, looking to do so most of the time. Kirk Murad though He's finding it so very hard to deal with the Malaysians, especially with those lob passes inside the paint. Almost another one found there by Hui Pin. He's looking to orchestrate matters. Backing in, and that's an easy basket. Just enough juice for the deuce from So Wei-yin.
So Wei-yin. Blocking foul. Single rebound.
It's physically a lot more aggressive and a lot more powerful than Singapore. The moment they do that backing in, there's almost no help whatsoever. Singaporeans will just be begging for mercy by then. So Wei-yin was that a dribble. That's a double step for her. It's a call for a Singapore ball. Young Soo-yun, she knows the pressure is on her to retain that gold medal and do it in front of your home crowd. They've only lost ever one match in Malaysia in the SEA Games, and that was against Thailand back in 1989. CHERYL POON hasn't really got going in terms of the scoring yet. Hui Pin once again looking for the open shots, but let down by some ball handling. Yoshida in and out, and then decides to take the J. Hui Pin a little too tenacious then, trying to grab the rebound. Commits the foul. 19 points the lead for Malaysia. So Wei-yin right outside. Oh, wonderful three-pointer from way downtown. YUKIE. CHERYL POON trying to answer, goes for the fade away, and that's 2 points for CHERYL POON. Wei-yin, once again, point guard extraordinaire. Always looking to move the ball, always looking for movement, and how about that? She spotted that pass from a mile away. She's just waiting and waiting for Rajendran to get into position. Singapore might have a break going on here. Hui Pin, though, a little slow in releasing the ball. Jacqueline Chu finally has faces in front of her, decides not to take that shot. Yoshida, finally some room inside. Nice little spin turn move. Reverse layup is pretty good as well from ALANNA. Another three taken from a different postal code. Money! 21 points now the lead after that three-pointer by Pang Hui Bin.
Double substitution for Malaysia. Laura Santiago, UGT, and number 23.
Rajendran has done the damage for the opening 4 minutes. Eugene returns in, taller player. Jacqueline Chu, once again, no open shot, but she finds the room herself and puts a little clever pass inside just to match the movement then of Pauline Ang. Wonderful spots by Jacqueline. Eugene drawn outside, they'll be happy with that. Pauline's gone away from her. Hand and face, yet they managed to heave up a three. And once again, grab their own rebound. Great hustling work by Singapore inside the paint. And they get their rewards with the ball. Tai Cha Tien checks back into the Pinewood. That was pretty clever from Jacqueline Chu. Everybody thought that she was going for the three ball. Instead, she faked it, went for the pass off. CHERYL keeps it alive. Movement is good at the moment, but it's all on the outside. The moment they go in, the Malaysians just crave down on them. A three ball! whizzes with a swish for Singapore. CHERYL POON trying to get the hot hand going. To hand off then by YUKIE. Offensive foul against Malaysia. Dangling with the wrist. She knew it was good the moment it left her hand. There we go, jostling for position illegally. Jacqueline Chu. It's a good spell this for Singapore. Scored on their last 4 possessions. CHERYL POON. Nice little crossover move. Fouled by Izzati, who picks up her second. Trying to keep themselves alive, reduce the deficit a little bit and give themselves hope for the final quarter. That's what Singapore are doing. Bounce passes are working for the moment. They're finding players a little more open, at least on the offensive end of the court. She's asked for a foul then, CHERYL POON. Not going to get it. 9 to shoot on the short clock. Jacqueline Chu. 5 seconds, so they attack the rim and finally they miss a shot. So that time was Charmaine C. Brave enough. Traveling on Izzati. Yet another turnover for Malaysia. They were guilty of it in the opening stages of the match, and I guess complacency just creeping in a little bit. There we go, that little double step of a move, traveling with the ball. Well spotted by the referee. Pauline working it off to Jacqueline. Charmaine. Jacqueline's on the outside asking for the ball. Charmaine decides to attack the rim. Couldn't kick it back out to Jacqueline Chu, who had gotten herself into a very good position in her favorite 3-ball position to nail another 3-pointer. And now they have possession of the ball, but they have only 5 seconds to take their shot. Pauline needs a little handoff, needs to do it all by herself now, heaves up a prayer. Gets it knocked off the rim, and Malaysia on the fast break. Good enough defensively to get back. Ensure that Poyet didn't have an easy basket. Took one for the team then, Jacqueline. And that's what you term as a very, very, very good foul to give away. He rims out on the second attempt. 16 points the difference between Singapore and Malaysia. They've reduced the gap in this the third quarter. Charmaine once again looking for movement ahead of her. Pauline's just on the outside, decides to hand off to her. Charmaine's back inside. Pauline loses the ball though. Another turnover by Singapore. And back come the Malaysians, almost daring her to shoot. Izzati hands it off. Another 3 arced to perfection from Go Poyi. The lead back up to 20. Izzati always knew where Poyi was standing. And Poyi knew that was her spot, marked with a P.
And then you lost your mind. Why are you throwing the ball down the sideline to ALANNA? What is she going to do with it? That's not Poon. You got to know who you're throwing the ball to, right? She can't do anything with it there. So you bring it up yourself. Look to attack. She's playing the 4 now. They don't want to deal with Pauline down low, so if we can get her the ball down low, get her the ball down low. By the time we got the ball over half court, we had like 15 seconds to do anything.
敢去用推球了，不要用这个，用推球，他们一直抓我们这一个了。李莹，你换阿爹给他出席了，到你了。走，9个做防守。
Well, it must be very frustrating for the Singapore side. The moment they reduce the gap and close it down a little bit, the Malaysians start streaking away again, because they always have that option of the 3-ball outside with their super accurate 3-point shooters and outside shooters, just causing huge damage to the side. But the movement, at least in the paint and underneath the rim, has been much better from Singapore in the second half. Soyin. Lovely ball handles. 3 to shoot. Get a reprieve from the referee, Poi. Fouled then by Alanna Lim. Picks up her third. Way outside yet again. Open 3. Doesn't go. Neither does that putback. Singapore come forward, but not enough players keeping pace at that time with aerial loiter. Alanna, Jacqueline Chu, good with the J. Poi, she's certainly been riding on a hot hand in the second half. Chi draws another foul out of Alanna, who is in foul trouble now. Well, she's always right there on the flanks of the perimeter, Jacqueline Chu. It's just a matter of them being able to kick the ball out to her. And they haven't been able to find her enough to cause any shot of shooting damage to the Malaysians. Chiang makes the first of 2. CHERYL Poon ready to return to the ball game in place of Jacqueline Chu, who had been shooting well in this third quarter, and CHERYL too. Hardly see the two of them together in tandem on court. CHERYL manages to keep possession of the ball. That little double step travel called. Alanna the guilty party. Way in. Pui. Oh, lovely rejection then by Alanna. Aerial loiter. Failed to handle the ball well enough. Still gets a little throw out. CHERYL keeps it alive. Still a lot of time on the shot clock. Don't have to take the shot straight away, but they can't give the ball away like that. The fast break is on for Malaysia. Waiting for contacts. Gets it, but doesn't get enough to heave up the basket, to look for the basket, and a foul.
Will go to the charity stripe.
Well, that is an anomaly, isn't it? Poi, who has been just nailing down shot after shot in this third quarter, missing the first free throw and almost missing the second, but gets the kind roll. Back to the 20-point ball game. Aerial loiter. CHERYL Poon. Once again looking to attack the basket, but it's well protected. Loiter! Way outside. nails her first basket of the game. 3 points for her. Way in. Malaysia looking to respond. Almost did. And yet again, Biggs just so hard to handle. That time Xu just diving right into Pauline, knocking the ball out of her but failing to keep possession. But this was much better play. Drawing in all the defenders and finding the open woman was Ariel Loiter. CHERYL POON doing all the dirty work as she is on the ball yet again, pulling the strings together for Singapore. Crowded out of it once again by this very, very stifling Malaysian defense. At the expense of a foul. Here's Loiter. CHERYL free on the outside, takes the shot, gets a little kiss off the board, and perhaps a kiss of life for Singapore. 15-point ball game now. It has been quite a productive third quarter for Team Singapore. And as we've seen so far, every time they've thrown that up and hit the 3 ball, Malaysia have responded pretty impressively with their outside shooting of their own. They've missed their last 2 though, Malaysia, as CHERYL comes up to continue this galvanizing effect for Singapore. Buzzer had already gone before Charmaine could take the shots, but they'll take a lot of heart and a lot of confidence from their display in the third quarter. Coach Murad goes up for high fives with the team, and they deserve that as well from their coach. 41-56, they trail to Malaysia heading into the fourth.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next game will be played at 3:45 p.m. this afternoon between Law and Singapore in the men's category. And don't forget at 6 o'clock the Malaysian men's national team take on Thailand. And then the final game of today will be at 8.
One more quarter to go. Can Singapore pull off the miraculous recovery against Malaysia? 10 more minutes against a Malaysian side. It's just been lambasted by their coach for that display in the third quarter. They're trying to get right back to start the third and the fourth and final quarter with a 3 from outside. Gentron straight away back into the game again, traveling on the part of FOOK. Another turnover by the Malaysians, of which there were many in that third quarter. Oh, she must be pretty worried for the way that the wheels just came off in that third quarter. They just couldn't get any sort of momentum. Charmaine talking about momentum. Singapore had plenty of it until that final shot of that third quarter. Got to take that shot pretty soon now. Charmaine still has possession of the ball. Off the board. Singapore keep it alive. No, they don't. Malaysia get it right back. Hui Pin. Way in. Looking for those runners once again. Trying to spot the open lady for that three-point shot. Rajendran. Soft touch from the big center. Failed to go that time. Loiter. Well, Tail seems to be really up since she scored those 3 points from outside. CHERYL Poon. Bench has done the job for Singapore in the third quarter, so because of that, Murad's decided to keep the same on court. 4 seconds for the shot to come. It does come in the end. And Singapore score the opening points of the fourth quarter. Alanna Lim trims it to a 13-point ball game. Rajendran. Something that the Malaysian bigs were doing in the first half so very often, just backing into the Singapore centers. The Singaporeans just couldn't live with that, but we haven't seen a lot of that in the second half. Back they come again. Loiter. It's found net. And it's just a 10-point game now as Singapore get themselves right back in it. 46-56. They're still alive.
You got to defend. You got to be physical. I don't want you getting moved this much.
在耍球啦 ，girls， 注意一下。
You got to be a threat to score. Let's keep running fist. Set the screens high if you have to. Legal screens. Okay? You get to the rim, you got her or you got her. Stay on the three-point line, get to an open window. Okay?
Well, the Malaysian team has said that if their coach keeps quiet, that is a very, very bad sign. And during that timeout, she brought them out and she was pretty quiet. And all she did was tell them, you need to chase. That's all. And she looked away. So, a little sign of disgust from the coach already. For the Malaysian girls, who took their eyes off things in the third quarter, and it's certainly cascaded down into this fourth and final quarter as well. And trying to respond with a three. That will be a foul. Is that a foul on Singapore or Malaysia? I think it's a pushing foul called on Chong Yin Yin. And Singapore have an opportunity now to make this a single-digit ball game. You wouldn't have thought that at halftime when the Malaysians were streaking away and were having almost a 20-point lead. Great character shown here by the Singapore girls. Set screens, but set it legally, says Coach Murad during the timeouts. They didn't do so. Words not heeded, and the frustration etched all over his face. That was an opportunity just to send a message through, just to put that little corridor of doubts into the Malaysian heads. Rajendran drawn on the outside, much better defense on her in the second half, and she couldn't get the shot off. Jacqueline Chu, who's led all scores for Singapore in this ball game, for the open jumper and the open J. Well, she's totally airballed it. And they're going pace for pace with the Malaysians now. They won't be able to live with it, so they have to watch it as well in terms of their defense. Yin Yin goes attacking the rim and gets an opportunity now from the free throw line, because they have been ice cold in this fourth quarter in terms of their outside shooting. Alanna Lim surely will be hauled off now because she is in foul trouble. One more and she's out. Finally, the Singapore net shakes, much to the delight of the crowd. 1 out of 2 only from the charity stripe. Jacqueline Chu, loiter, open momentarily, refused to take the shot, but she's got a real hot hand at the moment. Aerial loiter. 7 points, and they've all been scored since the end of the third quarter. Malaysia still can't get a basket to fall. Yoshida called for the foul that time. She couldn't believe it. There we go. We thought she was going to take it, but she decided to go on that little run of hers and go to her favorite spot for that easy J. Long three. Doesn't go for Malaysia's top points getter, FOOK. Yin Yin. Underhand reverse layup. Even that doesn't go too. Well, the rims haven't given them the blessings in the second half because their shots just haven't been falling. Oh, that was an opportunity just gone to waste. Just slack hands then. After that pass out by Jacqueline Chu, she couldn't believe it. She's asked for a foul and the coach is saying, let's concentrate a little bit more. Let's get right back in the game. It's a little bit of a riff-raff between Jacqueline and the coach then. Izati will leave the court and allow Wei Yin to come in on the hardwood for the final 6 minutes of a match that looked to be getting away in the first half, but things have begun to get very interesting. The Malaysians haven't been able to make a shot outside at all in this fourth quarter. Still, the basketball is in the freezer for the Malaysians because it's really been cold. Can Singapore take advantage of it? 5 to shoot for Yoshida. She throws up a prayer, doesn't get a hallelujah. It's the Malaysians' turn now from outside. Still, they don't get it to fall. Jacqueline Chu trying to penetrate, leading the fast break. Malaysians get enough bodies behind. Aerial loiter. She of the hot hand. Can't get the shot off. The Malaysians know they have to clamp down quickly enough on her, and they did that time at the expense of a foul for Wei Yin. Well, it was her, CHERYL, POON, and Jacqueline Chu that really galvanized the Singapore side in the third quarter. Yoshida, double Y with that pass inside. Couldn't get it to go though, ALANNA. And somehow, after getting so close, all of a sudden, Singapore are starting to miss their shots as well. Murad just cannot believe it because the Malaysians are giving them chance after chance. Surely one of these shots are going to fall for Malaysia. Been taking a lot from the outside. Yin Yin this time. Finally it goes from way downtown. Chong Yin Yin draws huge sighs of relief from the MABA. And Singapore pay the price for missing their last 4 shots. Make that 5 now. Kept alive though by ALANNA. Reverse layup is good. Great tenacious work then by ALANNA, keeping it in play. Malaysia with Eugene Ting. Well, what do they say? You wait for the bus forever, and when it comes, they all come all at once. Now their shots are falling again. Aerial loiter from way outside. This time that teardrop couldn't fall. There's absolutely no arc or shape on that shot at all. Wei Yin calms it down a little bit. Hui Bin, wonderful spin move inside. Lovely basket for Pang Hui Bin. And we're now back to a 15-point ball game. They caved it in to 10 points, Singapore, but from there on they just couldn't reduce it to single digits. They just couldn't.
Timeout by Singapore.
Timeout, Singapore. Murad will need to talk it over with his girls.
Really be physical outside. Okay? Let's spread the floor a little bit. We'll stay with fist, but we'll move it way up high. So, first time down, instead of fist, because we've run fist about 15 times in a row, let's go fade and see if you can't hit one. If you don't have the shot, no. She was hot. I wanted you to get her the ball because she was open that time.
你们讲的哦，你在哪一个位置你要做一个动作。国营，黄一站美德利。Hey girls, come on.
3:33 left in the ball game. Malaysia up by 15 points, but the lead was whittled down to as little as 10 at one point. Yep, FOOK still their leading scorer with 15 points. And Pui, the leading rebounder. But hearts were in the mouths of these Malaysian supporters for a while because they just couldn't get their shots to fall. And Singapore was streaking away until they brought it down to 10. And now they are the ones who are failing to get their shots in the basket. Then if you look at the glass half full side of things for Singapore, the last two times they met Malaysia, last year at the SEABA, they lost by 29 points, and then at the SEA Games they lost by 26. 15 now is very respectable. Loiter attacks the inside, and even her shots are not falling. It's been a seesaw affair in terms of shots missed between these two sides. The Malaysians have got it right back, and another falls from way outside. 3 money. That time from Eugene Ting. Malaysia ball, putting the full court press on Jacqueline Chu. And surely now the game will be iced. Looked for the option. It's almost as if they're saying, look, you're the big girl here, you're the center, you can't take the shot from the outside. But she can. Another 3 fingers go up from the bench. They sit right down, but Eugene Ting picks up the rebound and picks up a foul. And I believe that might be Alanna's 5th. Oh, she's still on court.
And she'll go to the charity stripe after being fouled.
Went right after it, Eugene. So we're back up to a 20-point ball game when just 2 minutes ago it was 10. 21 now as Eugene completes the 3-point play. Rape in. CHERYL POON once again crowded out of it. YUKIE Yoshida. CHERYL POON, hand in the face, looked for the fadeaway jumper. And she'll go to the line to shoot 2. They've been good with their free throws, Singapore, no doubt about it. Problem for Murad and girls is that they haven't gone to the line often enough.
Two shots for the Sheffield of Singapore.
Jacob Izati getting the next Malaysian move going. Much better play from the Singapore perimeter defenders to actually block out the runners trying to attack the paint. Izati will go inside and use the board, failed to do so. Eugene with a big rebound and put back. Oh, she's come up big, scoring the last 9 points for Malaysia. CHERYL way outside, almost an open 3. I don't know why it was tipped away by Ariel, because it was an easy rebound for her. 2 minutes left. Malaysia have sealed this. They suffered a little tremor in the process. 5 to shoot. Spin turn is good. Basket isn't. CHERYL POON trying to go coast to coast and decided not to. They need quick baskets in order to get right back into this. CHERYL once again mishandles. Double Y. Almost on the double. Great hustling work yet again by ALANNA. She hasn't given up at all. Yoshida passes up on the 3. Ariel decides to take that shot. Finally, she finds her touch right back again. It's a case of too little, too late now for Singapore. Into double digits for Ariel Loiter. So a minute left, and it will be garbage time for the Malaysians if they want to clear the bench. CHERYL POON was fouled. The Malaysian bench asked for travel. The referee's not going to give it.
2 shots for Singapore. A triple change.
They do clear the bench now, the Malaysians. And the bench players have actually contributed quite immensely to this game. ALANNA takes her very own break after another battling display from her. Pauline gets the move on Madeline. Banks it off the board. Madeline looking for the open 3. Much better defense in the second half by Singapore, you have to say. Nice move by Madeline, but was ill-advised in terms of that layup. CHERYL POON step back for the 3. Doesn't go. Shot clock will be turned off. This will be the last possession of the ball game. And what has been a steely effort from Singapore. Down by 20 points, and then coming right back at the Malaysians in the 4th quarter. At the end of the 3rd, into the 4th, the Malaysians went cold. The Singaporeans took advantage and whittled it down to a 10-point ball game. However, they couldn't maintain it while the Malaysians kept missing shots. That's when the Singaporeans started missing shots as well. And right on cue, the Malaysians came right back with a couple of 3-pointers and some big plays by Eugene Ting to ice the game. It's a 19-point victory for the Malaysians, 74-55. Singapore have lost their first 2 matches, but remember, it's not over. They're here to try to win a medal, and the medal is still on if they win their remaining games in this preliminary round-robin competition in women's basketball at the 29th Southeast Asian Games.
It's the moment you've been waiting for. Look at that focus. Everyone's on the